There you go. Okay. Hi, Will. Welcome back.
What's up, Adam?
I did the 4 days of your programming. That was fun.
And
That was fun.
good.
Yeah, like I said, more lower body than I was used to. But
Excellent.
yeah. So
Are you saying you have chicken legs?
I do not have chicken legs, no, but yeah, a little more lower body focus than I'm used to,
Yes.
which is good for me. But
That's good for you.
before we actually get kicked off on what you want to share about your programming, um, I want to give you crap for coming on here with a Rich Froning shirt because Josiah does the same thing, and we ended up making him order some of our own apparel. But way to represent. He's got a pretty awesome beard going right now, by the way. I just saw that. So
Yeah, I could grow that too. I just have to work. So
stupid,
that's the problem.
super dumb.
I don't
Okay,
think that mustache is any regs.
mine.
Yes.
I'm on my weekend. It literally grew this much over the weekend.
Right.
Let's see. I want to do this. Here we go. Okay, here you go. This will help you out a little bit.
Oh, okay.
How's that?
That's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, show.
Yeah, so when you go to the website, you click on the tab, first responder, and then you can choose either no equipment or full equipment. There may be, as we evolve a little bit, at like a middle ground there. Just right now, got my hands full, just trying to program this and get all the notes and content in it. So I'm just feeling it out.
With the
Obviously, we
spell
just
check and
started
everything
this, so
else.
yeah, doing all that stuff. So if you're doing the no equipment, for the most part, we're not going to be using like anything weighted for the most part. This week, I am going to recommend that people that are doing no equipment get a backpack. It doesn't really matter what kind of a backpack. There are, more specialized rucksacks or whatever out there that you can buy that actually use for workout. But backpack with some weight in it, and we can do some different movements with that. It's very functional too for first responders. So
Yeah,
um,
just real quick, if you're just listening to this, it may be a little easier for you to jump over onto YouTube, or ultimately, once Will gets this uploaded on his site, it should be available on there too. But where I actually am I've got the website pulled up here to make things a little bit easier as Will explains what we got going on here. So you just want me to open up day one?
yeah, just open up a day. It doesn't really matter, and then I'll go through like the structure. So is this no equipment too?
No, this is with equipment. This is the one
Okay.
I did. So
So this is with equipment. You're always going to have a warm up. What I'll say is generally you need to, and unless you're brand new to fitness right now, generally you need to go ahead and do extra, mobility and things that you need for what you got going on. So if you know you have tight shoulders, tight lower back, things like that. I have spine issues, so I do all my physical therapy stuff before I work out as a warm up to get going. But I generally, I will always do something like this warm up. So that's kind of what we've done here. This warm up right here, 200-meter jog, Samson lunges, air squats, PVC pipe pass throughs, and push ups is a very general CrossFit type or fitness type warm up where we're doing pretty basic movements to get our joints going, get a blood flowing. So there are some different types of warm ups that I put in there we can talk about also. They will all, if it varies from this, you'll see some type of video link that you can look up what we're doing. And there's a few of them, like you'll see the Hinshaw warm up. So yeah, your video links will be at the bottom here, but you'll see the Hinshaw warm up, which is in week 1 as well, but in week 2 it's there. And week 2 also has a modified Hinshaw warm up with a video. And then Hinshaw is just a dude that is awesome. The guy is a genius and he teaches endurance. But anyway, he knows how to warm up. And then there's another warm up the second week, which involves the great Kelly Starrett, which he's a physical therapist, doctor, been in CrossFit a long time, author of a bunch of mobility books. The dude's awesome. So go to that video link. Also look him up if you have mobility issues, which most of us do, because I'm sitting here like this, and that's what we do in our patrol vehicles all day long, right? With all that equipment. And so he can help you. You have any other questions? You have questions about warm up? Anything I missed?
No, I think it's good. I mean, they're the warm up is, I think you actually wrote down beneath it. If you need more, do more. If you need different, do different. But I mean, you'll get to know where your areas of weakness or tightness are. So yeah.
Yes. If you're new to some of this stuff, just real quick, the PVC pipe, if you get a PVC pipe, it needs to be the thickness of like a barbell. And I don't know exactly what that is, but close to the thickness of a barbell. 5 to 6 feet, you can cut it. Taller you are, cut it closer to 6 feet. Shorter you are, cut it to 5 feet. And you can use it for all kinds of stuff. And we'll use this PVC pipe in both programs for technique stuff, especially. And you'll see this week coming up in the no equipment program, we'll use the PVC pipe to work on overhead squats. Very safe thing to do with the PVC pipe. And we can work on all kinds of different technique stuff with it. I think that's it for the warm up. You're always going to move on now to the skills. The first week in the no equipment, there wasn't a whole lot of skills because we're doing some different types of testing. The second week, the skills you will see and onward will be gymnastics related. So we'll be working on simple stuff like strict pull-ups, push-ups, core conditioning related stuff. But also we'll be working into different progressions that are not scary and that everyone can eventually do for things like handstands, single leg squats, all kinds of pull-ups, things like that. So for the equipment, as you see in this example, we did our 5-rep front squat. Yes, we're doing strength training and equipment. It's very important. And like I said in my podcast, introducing this program, you have to understand that I have a CrossFit background. That's what my background is. So that's what my education is. That's how my programming is. We believe in strength training, weightlifting, and that's what we're going to do. If you need, I stress this, if you need any extra instruction, you can always get a hold of me either on social media or if you need my number or whatever, hit up Adam or however you can. To get my contact number, I will help you. I will send you videos. You can send me videos. I'll help you there, or seek out some more instruction in your area. There's all kinds of weightlifting coaches around that will help you teach you how to squat and do some of the movements we're going to be doing. But primarily, the main functional movements we're going to be doing with the barbell are going to be, if I can remember them, front squat, overhead squat. And we're doing push jerk, sumo deadlift, high pull, deadlift, strict press. There may be another one mixed in there. Those are going to be skill related barbell movements where we'll be working progressions to get stronger and better at the technique. And as I put in some of the notes the first week, we're always going to err on the side of lighter is better. Moderate weight is better than trying to go super heavy and injuring ourselves or not being efficient at the lift and burning ourselves out and not getting any progression out of it.
Which is one of the things that a lot of people end up having some claiming to have issues with CrossFit, and
yeah,
I guess it just kind of depends on the instruction that you're receiving. But I don't really do CrossFit, but I can tell you that there's a safe way to do a high intensity interval training.
Yes.
Without losing the form. So.
Yes, and that's all CrossFit is. I mean, obviously there's a name attached to it. People can think what they want, but it's interval training mostly. I mean, it's fitness. That's all it is. Another thing with these skill sets, if you follow the reps and just work up to what I would call a moderate and very efficient technique in each of your reps, we're never really going to be reaching a point to where we're unsafe, right? So you start light, like it says here in this example, 10 reps with the barbell, and then put a little bit of weight on 8 reps, put a little bit of weight on 6 reps, and then we have 3 by 5 reps where we're just, and if we don't get to somewhere where it doesn't feel heavy, that's okay. Even if it doesn't feel moderate, but if you're doing it correctly, that's what we're looking for. You're also going to get stronger that way. I mean, especially if you haven't been lifting weights, you're going to get stronger. We don't need a whole lot on the barbell.
This kind of looks almost like it follows, I mean, not exactly, obviously, but it's a similar concept to the Wendler 531 is what you're lifting.
Yes, we will be following a similar program to that. And the reason is it's more of what we would call a linear program. It's very easy to follow and progressional. You can see exactly how the rep scheme works, and it's nothing difficult to see. So that's kind of what we'll be following for sure. There'll be a little bit of a tweak depending on the movement, but pretty much.
Cool.
What do you think? Anything else on the skills?
No, I mean, that seems pretty simple, really.
Cool. So last thing on that is just when it says skills, that's exactly what we really mean here. And with that, what I do mean is that we are really working on this. It's practice, it's technique. We're not going 100 miles an hour. We're controlling this weight. We're controlling this movement, whatever it is, in no equipment or equipment. So just remember that. We'll go down to the workout, which on this day was the baseline test, which is a pretty simple test of basic gymnastics movements: squatting, air squats, sit-ups, push-ups, and pull-ups. Basic stuff we need to do basically to live, not only to be first responders. But so we understand that a lot of people don't have pull-ups yet. If that's the case, you're in luck, because we will be getting you pull-ups. We'll be doing pull-ups consistently throughout the program. We'll be giving you options of modifications to get you stronger in pull-ups. For example, the banded assistant pull-ups. There's a couple other things we'll be doing for pull-ups. So I know that's a huge goal for a lot of men and women out there in law enforcement, and it really is an essential thing depending on what situation you get into. So the workouts will be what we call constantly varied in time, load, and then movement. So you'll see short WODs, medium duration, and short, I would say like under 5 minutes, 7 minutes, medium duration, like 7 to 12 minutes. Anything over 15 minutes is probably a longer duration, especially for first responders. You're going to see a lot of interval training though, like we talked about, which is really important for us, because what happens is at work, our adrenaline gets really high fast with calls we go to, heart rate goes up fast, and then we need to figure out how to recover. So you'll see whether it's a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes of work, and then getting some rest in there, minute rest, 2 minutes rest, whatever it is, intervals like that, maybe even shorter intervals. And what I'm going to continue to preach, and what we're continuing to preach in our workout notes, is breathing techniques, and just more or less, when we start being aware of your breathing. If we're chest breathing and sucking it in through our mouth, we're going to be in some trouble. And if you're doing that out there when you get into a stressful situation at work, our vision is going to get into that tunnel vision area, and our decision-making skills are going to be hampered. So this is a great tool and way for us to practice that in a safe environment when our heart rate is up, when we're working out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool. So look for varied workouts, varied times, different movements. That's kind of what it's all about. Being able to do different things with different implements throughout the week, because that'll get you ready for the unknown of what's going to happen at work. You never know what you're going to get yourself into. So the workout's pretty basic, right? Anything else on that?
No, I'm gonna sidestep here for a second because I want to know is this programming, are you gonna keep with like week one up there, or are you pulling one down? And is this a program that I can start at any time and start from the beginning and work like beginning to end?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. It'll be like a blog.
Okay.
So it'll continue to be up there. So our goal is to get this out to as many people as we can in law enforcement and their families. Really, their families want to join along. My wife's joining along in the programming. She's having fun with it. So get this out to as many people as you can. Tell them to give it a try. If they, have questions, issues, whatever, contact us, please, and we'll get you squared away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a blog.
The reason I ask is so we're recording this the second week of January 2022, right? So the reason I say that is because if you find this video, if you find this programming in March, in July, it doesn't matter. You can go to this link, you can go to week one, and you can start right at the beginning. You don't have to jump on the programming that Will has uploaded that week. You can go clear back to the beginning and start with these basic skills, which is great. So
absolutely. If you work down to body armor, it's just a cool little name that I like. And what this is you can think of them as core conditioning accessories. Also very beneficial to spine and thoracic mobility, stability. So as police officers and first responders, we have a lot of issues with that because of the gear we wear, how we're in a car a lot, how we're sitting, things like that. So a lot of this stuff is going to require the athlete to look at the video links, for sure. And for some reason, if the video link's not there, and I have a side note on the video links, but if it's not there, look it up if you don't know exactly what it is. So you have a good idea of what the technique should be and you're doing it properly. These really may be the most important part of your fitness, because stronger our core is, the more less injury prone. Yeah, it's the foundation. Less injury prone we are, right? Especially for spine injuries, all kinds of stuff. I lost my train of thought, but video links. So for now, I'm sticking with mostly CrossFit video links. If that upsets you, sorry. But they do a really good job. They have a lot of great videos with great instruction and points there. What are we doing here?
I'm letting you talk. Go on.
Oh, okay. I was confused. So sticking with mostly that, there's a couple other couple other links I trust, and organizations I trust. So you'll see those videos, maybe a offshoot here and there, but mostly these videos I trust.
I was going to click on one, but I don't want to get in trouble for copyright. So.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Eventually what I want to do is build my own video library, but that takes obviously a lot of time and effort. So we'll be working on that, but that's going to take a while. Is that your dog?
Yeah, he's unhappy about something.
Your puppy dog?
Yeah.
So the body armor, important stuff, look at the videos. And when you go down from that, I have kind of revised this part to it's athlete focused and mindset is what it's going to officially be. So that says athlete goal and focus. It's going to be focus and mindset. So in week 2, I'm really going to hammer in on more mindset stuff. Every day I'm going to pick something to kind of go over, talk about. That could be breathing techniques. It could be positive mindset, growth mindset on things. You'll see some of that stuff. Actually, if I can give an example here, maybe if I know what I'm doing. Yeah, so let's see. So I'm looking at my next week here. One of the things I put in here is talking about the hypothetical of a respiratory virus going on in there.
Unlikely.
And yeah. So anyway, I talk about if you think about this, maybe one of the reasons why so many people are having a heart problem with this virus that's getting down to the lungs and creating such a viral load. Can't breathe. And one of the reasons for that is they don't train themselves under stress to breathe and have healthy lungs. So fitness is so essential to this, not only for your natural immunity and all that kind of stuff, weight control, blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. You can go on and on and on, your wellness, your overall wellness, but that's just a very simple thing to think about. We're talking about a respiratory virus, and it's an easy thing to combat by putting our body under stress and fitness, learning how to breathe correctly, and conditioning those lungs. So I talk about that a little bit, and then I put a sickness to fitness continuum in one of the athlete focused mindset days next week, and you can kind of take a look at that and wrap your head around that. So things like that. Also some basic stuff. I talk about leadership in one of these, just some leadership qualities, especially as just your normal patrol officer. What can we do to be better leaders and things like that.
And then I think we talked at some point, you're going to talk about some nutrition. Is that going to be a separate link from these?
Yeah. I haven't quite decided if we might add that in daily, just like a tip a day, and build upon it, build a foundation. We'll definitely have a separate link for it. My wife's a lot better at this than I am right now, because I've kind of been out of that game a little bit. I used to do a lot of nutrition counseling. And I don't do so much anymore. But if my wife can provide that service to our people, that's kind of our goal. But she's super busy with a lot of stuff right now. So we're just trying to get that all squared away. But nutrition is key, and we will get there. Workout notes is exactly what it sounds like. I'll be putting detailed notes in there every day. So advanced athletes that know these movements, and they do interval training, they know how to do this stuff, probably don't need to read this as much. But if you're kind of new to this stuff, read the notes, because I talk about what the intended stimulus of the workout is, what kind of intensity we're looking for, whether we're looking for a longer duration, moderate pace, or is this more of a sprint type of day, and kind of a mindset around reps, and whether it's to do singles of something or multiple reps in a row, things like that. You look like you had something. No, you're just messing with your hand.
I'm just being educated. Yeah.
So check out the workout notes. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else more important about that. You might see videos in there or down links. But I also might give you some tips in there how to be more efficient during the workout, and when to rest and break and breathe during workouts, so you don't go out hot and redline and die before the 10-minute workout's over. If you go down from there, you'll see modifications, which is really important. I'm going to do my best to give a modification for pretty much everything that you see. So if you go to this one, you'll see, the run is modified by the row. If you need to modify that, we can also use a bike as well. And I probably should have put a bike in there as well, but no big deal, because a lot of people though do have bikes instead of rowers. They like to do that. You'll see on this one, this is a preferred modification of the entire workout, which is just structuring the load, or the reps differently. So we're taking the reps down. So if you think about modification, you think about it very simply. We can reduce reps, we can reduce load, we can reduce time. That's the easiest way to modify. We can do one of those things, we can do two of those things, we can do all of it if we need to, depending on what the athlete has going on. So you have to know where you are. So if you're an advanced athlete, we actually might be scaling up. That's a possibility. If you're right there with what we're doing, then we don't need to modify. If we're a novice athlete, where we haven't been in fitness that long, or we haven't been doing these movements that long, it's probably best to first modify load and then reps and then time. If we are an injured athlete, let's say we have something that's injured, say I have a knee injury or something, that's when we really need to be smart about what we're doing. If we can't do an air squat, we're going to look at something else. There's lots of things we can do. Just for example, if I had an athlete like that could hinge, but they can't squat, I would probably give them like a kettlebell swing. So they could do 40 kettlebell swings instead of 40 air squats. Now, I can't always expect the athlete to know those scaling and modifications. So if you need a scaling and modification, contact us and I'll help you. Or just be smart about it. Know what movement you can do with your injury. So you'll see a bunch of modifications for every movement, hopefully, if I remember every day. And then you go to video links. So you'll have your video links. Again, most of them are from areas that I trust that give good instruction and good demonstration. Hopefully I'll be able to build out a good library of that between Janessa and I and Virtue Athletes. But other than that, get after it.
Cool. Yeah. And you'll notice all of these things that are on here are scalable, or, I mean, you can change it based on the equipment you have. You know, the other day, the day before, you had medicine ball cleans. I don't have a medicine ball. I did sandbag cleans, and I adjusted the reps based on the weight that I have. So, I mean, you're accountable to yourself and your family. So, just get the work done, figure out a way to do different things. I'm not going to be able to do overhead squats, shoulder stuff. So, I mean, it's just going to be a little bit different, but it's all good. So
What I would say though is too, though, that's good. That's a great point. That goes back to injury or but previous injuries. Probably. So is your shoulder as a previous injury?
Mm-hmm.
So if we can, though, we would still love to get someone like Adam into an overhead squat position with a PVC pipe. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we can do it with a PVC pipe and it's pain-free, and sometimes this is a hard thing for the ego, but if we can do 10 by 3, 10 sets of 3 PVC pipe overhead squats, working on that, the mobility and the stability of an overhead squat, no matter what the weight is an amazing movement for an individual if they can learn it. So even if you just do PVC pipe. Now, if someone like Adam, though, who's a little more experienced in the fitness, still wants to get a little weight on him, then I would definitely recommend that he do a different squat, whether that's front squat or back squat or whatever. But he could still do the PVC overhead squats just for technique purposes. So that's a good example of that. I can't really think of anything else with the program, but totally open to questions, feedback. Also, this is completely free. I love doing this stuff. I love programming. I love fitness. We'll evolve this into more with the nutrition and all that. But if there's a first responder out there that's a little bit more, I would say, competitive and advanced in whatever they're doing, if you want something different, just let me know. I'll shoot it your way. We'll see what your goals are and what you're looking for, and we'll get it done.
Cool. All right. Well, that's a pretty good explanation of the overall programming here. And in the future, we'll get some laser focus on some different movements, techniques, and stuff like that. But I wanted to provide you just an overview of what's going on with that website. And just for clarification, it is virtuesportperformance.com. Sport like singular sport, because your sport is law enforcement or whatever. So there you go. I gave you a reason.
Really? Hold on a second, though.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen again because I don't lie.
Hold on, I'm looking at something.
There you go. See, sport.
You're right.
Yeah. So if you're confused,
we'll figure it out.
All right, guys. So we'll have Will back probably next month. So if you got questions, send them our way, thinlinebelievers@gmail.com. I'm not going to give Will's info out right now. Hopefully in the future, he'll get a contact button up there on the website. I'm sure he will.
We'll get it there.
All right, guys, take care.
See you.